What is the Christ solution? Christ came to pay for the sins. And then last, what is your response to that? Being in faith, obedience through that faith, working itself out in love. Just by grace, you're saved through faith. And so it's important for us to understand the gospel message, how it impacts us, but then also what God's done in our lives. We can't always go, as we discussed last week, and say, hey man, let me tell you the 4 spiritual laws. Let me tell you the 4 things of what is the gospel. Most of the time we get in a relationship with people, they see our good works, and they are going to glorify their Father in heaven. The Matthew 5:16 stuff, right? And in doing that, you're sharing your faith, how God has changed you. You're proclaiming to the generations, one generation to the other, the greatness of God. And so they want to be a part of that. So you're learning how to share your faith, your specific personal faith. And then also the faith being the gospel. How does that play? How can they be a part of the faith family? And that's what we went over last week. And so it brings us to this week, is that what is the fellowship of the body of Christ? What does it mean to be brought into the body of Christ? We're going to look at that today. What does it mean to be a part of the church? Well, I'll go ahead and tell you ahead of time as we kind of walk through this that there's many, many, many of us who are from every tribe, nation, and tongue. And through the gospel of Christ, he unifies us all into one body that is Christ. So there's this corporate understanding of church that some would call Big C church or Little C church. There's always confusion on what that means. I would argue the big collective church is Little C church, and that one that has a title like Abide Church would be Big C church. It has a title, but it can go either way. But you understand there's a big church, which we all, bodies of believers from every generation, will be a part of. They will all be sitting at the throne of heaven, singing the song of Moses and the song of the Lamb. If you look into Revelation, I believe it's the 7th chapter.